to introduce myself. I'm Lani Hermentil, the Assistant Vice President for Purchasing Department. And I've been to De Los Santos Medical Center for 1.5 years. So currently I have 4 staff who handles different specialization, like one purchasing handles the medical equipment, and then one for medical supplies, and then the one handling pharmaceuticals requirements like medicines, and the other one are for more on engineering and other recurring items like office supplies, computer supplies, and the like. So that's all. That's the background of our department. Okay, I'll share to you how does the purchasing flow or the process here in De Los Santos Medical Center. Actually, it's the same process that other companies also being followed or being observed. But since De Los Santos Medical Center is just overtook by Metro Pacific Group of hospitals, well, to start the process of purchasing, usually the requestors or the end users sends us the approved PR. So the approved PR means purchasing request or purchase requisition form. So that form is being approved by the authorized signatory. So we have an approval matrix here. So usually it's being initially approved by the department heads, and then if it's within the approved matrix or authority level of the department heads, then they will send it to us. But most of the time, if it's we categorize the request or the requirements into a recurring or non-recurring. Non-recurring or recurring are more of the supplies. So these are like office supplies, computer supplies, engineering supplies, all these items that we will usually reorder. So it means repetitive. Sometimes it's monthly or quarterly. So those are recurring items. Usually we have a contract with the suppliers already, like for 6-month contract or to 1 year, and then we will just renew it. But at the end of the year, we also do a bidding or comparative just for price checking and background checking as well on the suppliers. Okay. In terms of a non-recurring, these are when we say non-recurring, these are items that are order basis. So let's one of those are the medical equipment, okay, and like air cons, or we simply called it a capex related items. When you say capex, it is capex expenditure items. So like construction, construction progress, medical equipment, what else? Improvements here in hospital. So those are under the non-recurring. So that requires approval of the finance because of the budget request, and also requires approval from our president and CEO. So aside from the purchase request, we also require them to also submit this kind of form, which is we call it CEAs, the Capex Expenditure Acquisition Form. So this form is required for all non-recurring or the Capex related items. So yun, once we have these 2 forms, like the PR and the CEA, that's the time that we will process the PR into PO. So we do the canvassing. So especially for the CAPEX related, I'll cite one example. If it's medical equipment, we have to ensure before we purchase the medical equipment, let's say for example an ultrasound or anesthesia machine, we involve the end users by doing a demonstration. Of course, all the doctors or most of the doctors have their preferred brands. Let's say for example GE or Philips. So we have to do an evaluation involving them and involving other concerned parties like the medical affairs and our biomed engineer to tabulate the performance of each machine. Let's say, for example, for that matter, there are 3 brands or 3 suppliers who gave their intention to participate the bidding. So all the doctors or all end users will participate on the demonstration and give their evaluation at the end of the demo period. So we collect all the evaluation and then we tabulate it on the technical side, meaning technical side is how they appreciate the machine, how the machine performs, something like that, okay? And then also once we tabulated the technical side, we the purchasing we're the ones who collates the information on the commercial side. Commercial side covers not only on the price, kasi sometimes when we say purchasing, it's cost saving. No, we also weigh the price, the quality. The quality, the what you call this, the after sales and the warranty, as well as the payment term. So those items are under commercial terms or commercial evaluation that being handled by purchasing department. So we're not actually allowed, but it's not part of our job um, to handle the technical evaluation because it's being handled by the end user or the desired technical team like the biomed engineer. So we're doing the commercial side. So once we have all those details, we endorse it to our counterpart in Metro Pacific, our group manager or procurement manager in Metro Pacific for a group negotiation. Because especially if it's medical equipment, since we have under Metro Pacific we have already 9 hospitals. So Del Santos is under 7th hospital of Metro Pacific. The purpose of endorsing it to Metro Pacific is for a group negotiation, so we can have we can get a big discount from the suppliers. Let's say other hospital also have that same requirement, so we can negotiate one time in a big discount. So that's the purpose of our group synergy with Metro Pacific, no? So once we have the negotiated price from Metro Pacific, that's the time that we will prepare the purchase order, approve the purchase order, and release it to the suppliers. So suppliers have to acknowledge the PO, so we can count the time that we place the order from the time that on the agreed timeline of delivery. Let's say usually the machine will arrive within 60 to 120 days. So we have to count from the date of order up to that day and inform the end user on the expected delivery date. So let's say for example, the machine arrives, then we will inform the end user that the machine or the ultrasound machine or the anesthesia machine is now available, and we may check for testing and commissioning, then accept. So that's the that's the end of responsibility of purchasing. The time that to ensure that the requirement reach the end user or the requestors. As to receiving is being handled by our CSSR department. So it's a separate department because it's a centralized. That department receives all the deliveries, and they're the ones who turn over it to the end users.